What are we going to do as people who want to inspire others to participate in this democracy? Well, first of all, we got to remember something very basic, is this is a democracy. And while there's all the pundits who might be calling one side out already, we haven't even had election day yet. We decide what's possible in a democracy, not them. We decide. So, remember your power in all of this. Remember the power of your voice and the power of your vote. Now, you're here, you're the committed citizens, you've got to spread the word. So that's, job number 2. And we have to be crystal clear about our message. First of all, whose mess is this? Not our mess. This is the mess that was left by the policies, very specific policies of the Bush administration. That's what got us into this mess. We got to be very clear about that, because a lot of these talk shows on radio and talk shows on television are telling a different story, and it's just not true. We know it. Second, we have to remind everybody that every election is about a choice. It's not a referendum. It's not how do I feel today, and if I'm angry, I'm going to go and just vote no, vote no. It's about a choice between electing people who will continue to move us forward or giving power back to those who would go back to the same policies that got us into this mess. The choice is stark on almost every issue you can think of, on the value of education, on whether we should be passing middle-class tax cuts, or, as the Republicans in Congress are right now doing, holding those hostage to $700 billion of tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans and putting that on our nation's debit card or credit card so that your generation and your children will have to pay that off. It's a stark difference in priorities. And those choices are presented to you at every level of the ballot when you vote. We have in our room Chuck Benedict, who has ably served this area in the state assembly. And Chuck has been a terrific partner in as we've worked on health care issues and issues that are specifically related to Rock County and Beloit area. Unfortunately, Chuck is stepping down, and yet still very involved, and he's here. And Roger Anklin is stepping forward to take this seat if you get out and vote for us. Beloit has a bit of a double whammy, actually, because your state senator, Judy Robson, has been a stalwart voice. I used to serve with her in the legislature. She's been a stalwart voice for the people of Beloit and Rock County. She, too, is retiring after an incredible tenure of public service. And Tim Cullen is stepping up to offer himself once again in public service to the people of this community. And we've got to get out and vote for him. And in both of those state races, the choice is real, and it couldn't be more stark. I want to sort of wrap up and say one other piece of advice as we get ready for the November 2nd election. You've got to remember to ask. Now, this is a Tip O'Neill story. He wrote that book, All Politics is Local. Tip O'Neill, for you really young folks, was a former Speaker of the House of Representatives. The rest of us kind of... Anyways, he wrote this book, All Politics is Local, but he tells this little vignette about going to vote the first time he had his name on the ballot when he was running for Congress the first time. And the neighbor lady looks over as he and his wife are leaving their house and says, Tip, I'm going to vote for you even though you never asked. And he thought to himself, oh my goodness, when I see her struggling with 2 big bags of groceries, I run over and help her with one of them, or if she's struggling to, shovel the snow, I'll grab mine and come over and help her out. And it kind of dawns on him that just being a good person isn't necessarily enough, and that there's a value to that specific act. I'd say to you, Senator Durbin, can I have your vote on November 2nd? But that wouldn't work because we're not on the same stage. But Bob, can I have your vote on November 2nd? Absolutely. Or before, maybe even? Excellent. James, will you work really hard hard between today and November 2nd to get me reelected. Thank you
I can
so much.
vote too.
I appreciate that. That ask, that personal ask, is very powerful and very, very important. And so I ask for your support on November 2nd or before, if you're going to vote with us early. And it's really important you do that. That's one other thing that I ask is, if you're really committed to this set of elections, and you can vote today or tomorrow or, well, not tomorrow, next week, that frees you up on Election Day to spend your entire day volunteering and getting other people in the polls, and you don't have to worry about casting your own vote. In fact, campaign workers are notoriously bad sometimes at not getting to vote because they have so many duties on election day. So it's really important that you vote early for that. So thank you all for being here, for being committed to this democracy, and for remembering that in a democracy, it's not these pundits who decide the outcomes of elections, it's you. You, the voters, if you choose to vote, and you know. I have the honor of introducing somebody that I admire very, very greatly. Dick Durbin grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, and when he was in high school, he worked at a meat packing plant. And today, he is the Assistant Majority Leader in the United States Senate. Talk about living the American dream. Talk about then, because of that experience, making sure and fighting hard throughout his service to the public that everybody has the opportunity to experience that American dream. It's quite incredible. Time magazine recently named Senator Durbin as one of our top 10 senators, and he's always regarded as one of the best orators in the United States Senate. He has been fighting for good jobs and good education and good health care for all of us, and he is a stalwart protector of our civil rights, our civil liberties, and a defender of our Constitution. I am thrilled that Dick is able to visit Beloit and share some words and inspire us today. I give you U.S. Senator Dick Durbin.